Hi, my name is Elizabeth Casano and I am a Synergens International distributor. What I want to teach you about today is making sure that you feel confident in using our foundation and our concealers. Because one thing that I've really found in my 18 months with this company is that it doesn't matter what products you have or how good they are or the coverage that they give you. If they stay in your drawer because you do not feel confident in how to use them, they're not going to do you any good. So today, that's what I want this to be all about, is you finding confidence in using our foundation and our concealers. Now, what I do is I like to prime my skin first by using our wrinkle and pore minimizer. It's called Silk, and it kind of does two different things. It is going to fill in your pores, it is going to fill in your wrinkles, but it also treats your pores and your wrinkles as well as give you that smooth finish that you want for a primer that also holds your makeup to your face. Now, the one thing that makes Synergens International, all of our cosmetics, so amazing is that they molecularly bond to your skin. Now, they are liquid. You know, our concealer is liquid, our foundation is liquid, so it's not that much different as far as application goes, but the end result is completely different. The coverage is fantastic and it stays all day long. What we boast is 4 to 18 hours of wear, but of course that's going to kind of differ. You know, what's your exfoliation rate? How much are you sweating? What climate do you live in? Are you oily? Are you dry? But the fact that it won't even transfer off when you hug somebody or if you kiss somebody, like those are just fabulous statistics that you're going to get a minimum of 4 hours completely coverage and then up to 18 hours. Now, I'll use me as an example. I am a normal to oily skin person and I can put on my makeup in the morning. You know, I get ready about 7 o'clock and literally at 7:30 at night, my makeup still looks pretty near close what it looked like that morning. And so that would be what, about a 12-hour consistent wear. It doesn't fade, it doesn't crease. That's the shadows, the blush, the foundation, everything. Now, part of the reason that my foundation lasts so well is because I do use Silk. I do use a primer. And I've got a baby down here that is dying to say hi first.
Hi.
That's been in the mascara this morning. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, so go watch Tom and Jerry, okay?
Oh, wait.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I always have to let her say hi or else she'll just stand there and stare at me the whole time and completely distract me. But because I use a primer, and just about every foundation, any line that you have or that you look at is going to tell you to use a primer. You need to fill in your pores and your wrinkles, and you need to give your foundation something to adhere to. And that is what our Silk does. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't just fill in the pores and the wrinkles. It actually treats them as well. So your wrinkles will minimize and your pores will minimize over time because the kinetic enzyme that Synergens has in all of their cosmetics is also in the Silk. All right, so let's start there. You just use, and make sure you can see how much I'm using, a very little amount, so like a pea-size amount of our Silk, okay? And it smells really nice too. And if you see me looking over here, it's because of where my camera is and where I'm going to be able to look. All right, so we're not putting it on like moisturizer. We're putting it on like a primer, okay? So you're going to kind of push it into your skin in a downward motion. All right, and then let it sit there for a minute. We're not going back and forth, okay? We're not pushing it to the outside of our face, all right? We want to put it on in a downward motion and then let it set. All right, now I use two different things for concealer that Synergens has. We have a Shadow Sense product and we also have a concealer product. Shadow Sense comes in lots of colors. So depending on your skin tone, we have Mocha Java, we have Garnet, we've got Sandstone Pearl, we have Candlelight. Okay, so there's 4 different skin tone options on the Shadow Sense. With the concealer, we have 3 different options, I'm sorry. We have light, medium, and deep. So it doesn't matter what your skin shade, type, color is, we've got it, we can take care of you. It's just a matter of which formula you like to use. So in this case, since I'm doing a video and I'm teaching, I will use one on one eye, one on the other, kind of show you the difference and you can make your own decision. This concealer right here I've had since November. It is $30. Shadow Sense is $22. You're going to get about the same longevity out of both. It's just a matter of which formula you like to use. All right, so I'm beating it, because I want it to come down to the front. Also, I use a beauty blender. Not necessary. I just like the way that it blends out, and we'll get to that in a moment. All right, so on this eye right here, it takes the very, because I've had this since October. Okay, it takes the littlest amount, okay? Can you see that? All right. And I'm just gonna tap it in. And you don't need to go in a half moon. Like you've seen people where they just fill in where it's dark. You need to come down into a triangle, because you wanna brighten up that whole eye area. Okay, and then I'm going to take it up to the top. And tap it in, and then what's left on my finger, which is a good bit, I do around my nose, where it's a little bit red. Come up to the top, and then kind of get off my finger what's left, okay? That is the color concealer in This Is Light, okay? Now for Shadow Sense, I use Candlelight. Same idea, triangle, tap it in with my finger. And do not feel like you have to use your fingers. I just like the control that I can get from using my finger, and I'm just kind of like going in a pulsating motion. I don't know if you can kind of tell that, but that's what I'm doing. And like I said, I take off the rest. And then if I have any blemishes, okay, so can you tell the difference? Candlelight is going to give you a little bit more coverage, okay? This is the Shadow Sense. I say Candlelight, I should say Shadow Sense. I just use the color Candlelight. Shadow Sense is going to give you just a little bit more coverage. Concealer is going to be just a little bit more translucent. It's still going to cover and still do what it's supposed to do. It's just not going to be quite as heavy or as much coverage. I personally like a full coverage look, so I prefer Shadow Sense. A lot of people like a little bit more sheer coverage, and you're going to want to get the concealer. Totally up to you. All right, now what I do is I go in with my Beauty Blender. It's slightly wet. Okay, it's just a normal, we sell them, you know, but you know, you can get them anywhere. I get it slightly wet and I squeeze it completely out. And I just blend my line so I don't have just the big demarcation line of where my concealer stops. Now, on normal days, where I would just be running errands or going out and doing mom things, I literally might just put on some mascara and some lip gloss and call it a day. Like just cover up my blemishes, cover the shadows, and move on and let this be it. Where I'm just a little bit bright here, covered up the two little blemishes I have, and be done. Like I do that a lot. And the reason I'm able to do that is because our skincare is incredible. I use a cleanser, I use a exfoliator, and I use some really good moisturizers. This morning what I used for my moisturizer was Climate Control and Nangai oil. And that just, it renews the moisture in my face. It renews the skin cells 23% faster. My wrinkles are completely different. I mean, I wished I would have taken a before picture, but I didn't, because when I got involved with Synergence, I thought it was just lip sense. And so by the time I started using the skincare the following January, I was just in it. Like I just dove straight in and I didn't even think about taking before pictures. But I know my skin and I know what it was like before. And the fact that I would just put on a little bit of concealer and call it done, never would have done that before. All right, so this is just, like I said, Shadow Sense Concealer. Now, for foundation, I use the color Dewy. There are, gosh, I want to say it's like 17. Maybe I should have counted. We have everything from the lightest skin tone to the darkest skin tone and everything in between. I'm really good at color matching. So if you're interested in trying our foundation, it's called MakeSense Foundation, contact me. I can color match you. But what's amazing about this, like I said earlier, is all of our cosmetics molecularly bond to your skin. So this is going to be here on your face still after you get off work, when you come home to your family, or at the end of the day after you've worked out, after you swam. Like, it's crazy that it would be water resistant like that and stand up to a long day and not crack, not fade, and not smudge off on your friends and family. All right, so again, not very much. In fact, that might be too much. Like, that's a pea size. All right, and I'm going to use my hands. Again, I just like the control. It's very, very silky and, what's the word? Viscous, is that the right word? It's not watery, but it's not overly thick and creamy. It just does what it's supposed to do. Cover without being really heavy, and because you don't want to feel your foundation. You don't want to feel like you have makeup on. You want to feel confident that your skin is blended and the tones are blended, but you don't want to feel like, you know, cake face. You know, I think we've all felt like that at one point in our life. And you see I'm doing it in a downward motion, and I'm not overly blending. Anything you have left, put on your neck, because you definitely don't want that demarcation line. Okay, again, go back with your slightly damp beauty blender, and whichever side you prefer to use. Obviously, I like to use this side because I like to hold it like that. And I'm just going in and making sure that it's blended. And this was a very just simple coverage. Again, like I said, I like a little bit more coverage. So what I would do is I would take just a very, very tiny bit more. And where I feel like I want just a little bit more coverage, where my pores are a little bit bigger, and I feel like I'm a little bit red, and I want to make it a little bit brighter, I'll go in. What I'm doing, if you notice what I'm doing, I need to put that in the camera, sorry. And I just dab it in where I feel like I need a little bit more coverage. Again, I probably got just a little bit too much. It does not take a lot, you guys, which is fabulous. A tube of this is going to last you at least 6 months. And just to kind of give you an idea, it's $50. It's going to last you 6 months. Do the math on that. That is a fabulous, fabulous option for you. Okay. It is cream to powder, so it will set to powder. But I'm going to end the video here because this is all about just concealer and foundation. But if you were to stay with me for the next video where I go to the next part, I do finish my entire look with the translucent powder just to set it. But if you didn't want to and you just wanted a natural look where you just blended out your imperfections, let's call it, and you wanted to leave it like this, it is a cream to powder finish, so you wouldn't even have to set it with a powder if you don't want to. So thank you so much for watching this. I hope you learned something, and more than anything, I hope you gained a little bit of confidence in using your MakeSense foundation, concealers, and shadow sense.